join the X-Men, but I think they're maybe racist. Just because I'm human, they don't want my help. It seems it doesn't really matter if your superpower's firing tuna melt. I tried to join the Justice League, but Batman was a douche to me, and Black Canary wouldn't tell me hi. And plastic measures to a middle finger that was 30 stories high. I got a message from the Great Lakes Avengers. They offered me a membership, but I did not accept, cause they're a walking disaster. Like an owl with a fireball, they just don't make sense at all. They're the worst heroes of all time. To call themselves Avengers is a crime. Marcel was your favorite mime, so I guess I'll look around. I tried to join Green Lantern Corps, those Guardians was such a bore. They said no way, but I was unsurprised.
Hey, welcome to a comic book look. This is episode Comic Book Infinity, and we are back with you as the weekly, monthly, yearly, daily comic book show. As I mean daily, you can go back to number 1 and watch 100 and some episodes in a row, and still daily, you'll still be right on track.
Yeah, I mean, there are enough episodes to watch them daily
for a long time,
and not repeat for at least a third of the year.
Yeah, there's a lot of people doing the 100 Days of Happy on Facebook.
That's a poor hanging of that flag. Really?
That's 100 Days of Happy would be 100 episodes of comic.
It would be. Sorry for the peanut gallery today, folks. That's my wife. But anyway, this is a comic book look, episode Infinity, and we're going to come right straight into you. I'm talking first about Burn the Orphanage. I've talked about this before.
Yeah.
You guys know that this is my favorite guy. Cena Grace, he is absolutely hilarious. This is like a 16-bit video game mixed with, I don't even know how to explain it. But anyway, it continues to become ridiculously awesome. I'm just going to point out a few things that I think are really cool about this. Do you guys recognize this at all? This setup?
Adventures in Babysitting.
This is the cover to Adventures in Babysitting. Who does their comic book cover to the 80s Adventures in Babysitting?
Awesome,
unless you want to reference Thor, because Thor plays a good part in that. The little kid is obsessed with Thor and then finally meets a person that she thinks is Thor. But anyway, that's hilarious right away. You can
and it's titled Burn the Orphanage, so someone is babysitting these kids.
Well, and it's because the orphanage is, this guy was originally in the orphanage and he had to actually burn it all the way down. And because, he had to take care of business. That was in the first episode. First issue, back before, but now we have this new 5-issue series. Shit is getting out of control and hilarious all the time, though. I mean, this is a comic book that just doesn't need to be explained. It just needs to be picked up. Everybody needs to be reading this comic. And then I just want to show one of my favorite things about this comic is the fan mail. There's a really hilarious fan mail of a guy who bought their shirt, and then he took a photo of himself with his shirt on, with no pants on, and no underwear on, just his Burn the Orphanage shirt, and then they post it in the fucking thing. And they don't show it. They cover it up with the little head of the guy from the comic. Nice. I mean, it is so fucking hilarious that this guy actually sent it in too. I mean, he's totally. And then the guy that this is a cosplay of the other guys in here, of Bear and some of the other characters, and it's literally spot on. But yeah, just as much fun as you have reading the stories, you have as much fun with all the other stuff. I mean, the covers, the letters page, the absurd references, and the absurdity of the actual story, how it goes from very actiony over the top to like try to be serious emotion and stuff, and how tough man they try to make the main character. But overall, it's absolutely just such a fun book to read.
Awesome.
I just have to imagine that that's the comic book creator's version of Tit Pics.
Yeah. Totally, bro.
And speaking, in our last episode, if you go back and watch that, it was a pretty good one. We were talking about the world before internet. Can you imagine, like, going in and turning in the film canister and waiting for them to develop it, and probably keeping a copy for themselves before you could take your Polaroid and send it into the band member you like.
Yeah. Oh man, that is so good.
Just a weird time.
But yeah, I mean, it's this actually came out like probably a month ago, and I think there's another one that's been out. I haven't gone to the shop and picked it up yet because I mean, summertime has been just crazy. But
do you want me to fill that for you?
yes, please a refill, waitress. But anyways, I mean, to have a book like this and then to have like dick pics in the back, I love it. I absolutely love every second of this book and how not serious they're taken compared to this book, which just got real fucking serious. But we'll get to that after somebody else talks. John, what do you got?
I don't even know if I can top dick pics.
You can't.
Cartoon heads.
We really opened with our best material. It's a rookie mistake.
Okay. Well,
It's to keep them there for the rest of the show.
I did get you a birthday present. I wasn't sure if you had it or not, or if you've heard of this series.
What? John?
Unwrapping.
Presents?
John? Whoa. Hard cover?
Sarah!
That you guys know
I don't
I've
even know like,
coveted.
if you've read those issues or not. Like, I was thumbing through it, and I'm like,
Oh
you
yeah.
know.
I mean, I have the issues,
Okay.
but to have it in hardcover,
Hardcover.
you just fucking, blew my mind, John. Once again, like you always do.
I don't think it... What was that?
Just the painting, okay.
Oh, that's fine. Tom, you've knocked his...
Shut up. Okay. So, thank you so much, John. So what do we got behind here, though?
So it's like a preview, I guess, and I was looking through it, and there is like some familiar stuff and some, different stuff in there too.
Perfect.
Dude, where'd you get this at? It's all in French? Is that what it really is?
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh my god. This
Wow.
is the fucking straight, you smuggled
Tom's gonna be
this
on
in,
Google
import smuggled this in for me from France?
Yeah.
You don't want to know where you
France
smuggled it
then?
in.
Yeah, I don't want to know where you kept this on the rag, because I know this
It
is
was
contraband.
suitcase.
Oh, suitcase, okay.
Oh, yeah, you did
Oh
go
man,
The
John.
dogs didn't sniff it out?
John, thank
How'd
you
cover
so
it up?
much, bro. This is unbelievable.
Oh.
Thank you so much. Oh.
Ah.
Holy smokes, this is really incredible.
That's very cool.
Isn't that awesome?
I
Tom,
absolutely
you didn't
love
get the
this.
wine glass back because...
Show a few.
Please,
Show
John,
a few
can you
pages
be
of
quiet
the
for the
artwork.
rest of the episode?
I'm sorry.
Thanks, guy. John,
Thanks, guy.
thank you so much for this, man. I mean, this is absolutely incredible. I'm gonna have to spend a lot of time on Google Translate. Dude, what sick art. I'm sorry that you guys are just watching me enjoy this, but
That's good.
Show
It's a
the
beautiful
viewers.
thing to
No,
watch.
they'll have to get their own friend to go to France and import it.
Show them a few pages of the artwork.
But yeah, I mean, first of all, it's an anthology. I can tell there's a lot of different artwork. And,
Good
I
luck.
mean, French comics have a very large reputation for having
Green?
comics that are way more serious and better than American comics. They don't have
imagine
superheroes.
it's
They don't have
artistic
anything. We have Mobius, arguably the greatest comic book artist of all time. He's French. I mean, to have this in my collection now is a really fucking big deal, man.
That's awesome.
Thank you so
I'm
much.
glad you like it, dude. Yeah, and then like the hardcover. I mean,
Dude, and then this is beyond. This is beyond cool, bro. This is so fucking sweet. This is from France too? Are you serious?
Is that it's all?
No way!
That's all
Whoa!
French. Yeah.
I just saw
Tom
that,
is
dude, and I
too
was
excited for words right now.
Beauty?
I was
Oh
cheesing out when I saw
my
it, dude.
god.
Okay, like,
Dude, you gotta be shitting me, John.
Isn't that
oh,
awesome?
was that a nipple?
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
They open up with a baby birth. It's the very first pages. See, nip on there, going through, pushing out.
This one I would
Baby.
totally have to Google Translate. It looks pretty
John,
badass.
Well, I don't need
you
it
don't have
because
to-
I own them all. I mean,
Perfect.
You can learn French now via your saga books.
I mean,
Kids have done it with
this is one of my. I mean,
You've had those
it's
for
one of
so
my
long.
it's one of my favorite series by far. I mean, John knows that, as we know, but I mean, I just fucking talked about it. Even better, said I was going to talk about it in a second. So, but I mean, I may carry this around for the next couple of days.
And
Dude, I can't believe I didn't notice that right away. Because at the beginning, there's nothing that says it.
I got myself a little treat from France.
Oh, no way!
So he was like,
hardcover too.
Yeah. He was like, these are
Tommy.
French, you know. I'm like, that's cool, bro. You know?
Of course, yeah. Perfect.
My favorite part, honestly, you guys, was hanging out at the bookstore and watching the French nerds look through the books.
Oh, yeah.
And see
The
what
lay
was hot.
nerds.
They had scalps over there in French. You know, like
Well,
I
it's
was
a great
trying to
book.
find the one with Gabe's issue, but I couldn't find it. You know, because he would have died.
Oh yeah.
But I love being in the bookstore. That was by far one of the coolest souvenir stops ever.
And I mean, that's so cool. I mean, it's funny that I didn't notice this at all. It's also funny that it doesn't say Image on it.
Yeah.
Because somebody must buy the rights, one of their publishers, and then publishes it. Here it says Image in here. Urban Comics. How fucking
That's
cool,
interesting.
dude.
We'll have to look into how that actually works out when a book gets translated over, because it would be on the cover.
Yeah, I mean, they have to...
If
Somebody
yeah,
else is
if they're
credited too, because there has to be
licensed,
somebody
so-
that actually takes American words and then translate it, because it's not, just like any sentence in any country doesn't translate
Right,
word
and
for word.
Is it relettered by a completely different guy,
No.
or is it
It looks like the same
lettered
font.
by the? Or do they just?
But there's-
do
I
they
thought-
just
I thought-
copy a?
I was
a
going to say,
font,
some of this
basically?
is handwritten lettering too from Fiona Staples, I think. So yeah, it'll be really interesting. I'll have to go check how that is, because I think some
Yeah,
of
that'd
this
be weird.
is...
Because you think, it's completely different words.
Yeah.
Do they just take the letters and rearrange them, to fit the French? Or
Yeah, do they create a font in a computer off
maybe
that?
do that,
and
or
retype
do they
it?
have a new letterer entirely?
But
Which
dude,
I would kind of doubt, but still.
well,
And I'm sorry
thank
that
you, man.
chair isn't
I really-
the most comfy.
All right, man. You just topped the dick pic, bro. You topped the dick pic.
I don't
Saying
know,
that you
man.
Way to
couldn't,
go.
and you did. All right, man. What do you got now?
I don't
Ken?
know. I don't have anything that can top that. But,
Well, of course you don't, but I see some sick comments
Well-
in front of you, so let's bust them out, bro.
Well, I wanted to bring this one because this is actually not this particular.
Signed by
comic.
Adam Hughes.
Well, that is this Vampirella was the first comic book series that I ever read as a kid.
Oh,
And so
that's your first comic book
that was-
series
that was
as a
my-
kid?
Yep, that was my first one. I didn't get into them until I was like in
I mean,
high
I don't
school.
want to get into it about you being gay and then reading
It
Vampirella
was
as your
because-
first one,
it was
but
because
it's like if
vampires.
I was in, that was my first one?
Yeah, if I was 13 and I was walking through the comic book shop, Vampirella probably would have been the first one to put off the
See-
shelf. I'm going to be honest.
Look at that back picture.
Right?
But
Look
that's
at
not why I
And the
picked
front
it.
picture.
I picked it because
I
I,
mean,
like
come
the
on.
vampires and the
Totally.
monster angle.
Yeah, me too.
But
I'm sure.
I thought this one was cool because yes, I did get it autographed by him. But the funny part is the comic. One of these is actually already printed on there, and when I handed it to him, he thought he had already signed it once, and so he was confused. And then he finally re-signed it. I believe this is the one he signed, and this is the one that's actually printed.
Oh, yeah, that's the one that would...
But he thought for sure he had signed it once already, so we got him to sign that one again. That was at.
Was Adam Hughes nice to you?
Yeah.
He was cordial?
He was everyone that I had
Yeah, he's
signed
kinda-
to me, they were really nice.
Yeah, he was kind of off-putting a little bit when I met him at FableCon, but still okay.
That's pretty cool.
I feel like some people just have a bad experience with any...
Yeah.
I mean,
At
Ada just got the
any
right point of day, too.
And
Or
it's
the
just-
right...
Yeah, exactly.
True.
You know, some people don't function in the morning, and these things tend to start
Yeah, I
kinda
mean,
early.
it's
in
like,
the
I mean,
morning.
I know
It's like 10
Bill
o'clock, you know,
Willingham and, like, John are, like, best friends and shit.
Bill
but, like, there was,
Willingham,
like,
love that guy.
but there was a time... Well, there was a time where,
I know.
it was they kind of had a rough start.
Rough start. But this last time, he cast his eyes at me. I looked at him. 2 bulls in the stable. And then Ken was like, "Hey," and I'm like, "Oh, sorry."
Sorry. Let's calm down a little. 2 bulls in a stable.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Oh man.
I mean, what was the best part about being in Europe, though, man?
What? Oh, I don't know. I mean, just the French Alps, natural beauty, like just being humbled and being surrounded by something so fucking huge all around you. It's awesome, you know. Going up and feeling vertigo for the first time, that was cool. I've never really had that lack of oxygen before, so that was fun.
Oh, sure.
But no, seriously, it was beautiful scenery. People were awesome. I definitely did my best to find like authentic spots that pertain to me, so I was doing artwork and bookstores where I could find them. But only one bookstore, and this bookstore I went to, guys, manga, comic books, and then history and everything else had slight little aisles. Everything else was these big sections, and I was like, that's my kind of place right there. So, shout out to Switzerland. So it was like a French sector.
It was a regular just
in there.
bookstore, not just a not comic book store. It was books.
Yeah.
In general.
Yeah, and I didn't see anything with singles on there.
Oh, yeah.
They didn't have a lot of singles.
And that's kind of how it is, I think. They do books.
But
they
people were coming up left and right looking at them.
Fuck yeah, they sell a lot of comics, man.
Yeah, that's what I love watching is what are people reading over here?
Oh my god. I can't believe I didn't notice that at first. I mean, to just give somebody the hardcover of Saga is a really big deal. I mean, that's like that's something that you'll hold. It's a hardcover, so it's a little bit more important of a book. Yeah. You're going to hold on to it forever.
Right.
And then to be in French and to know that John imported that for me specifically is really cool, man.
And there again, you don't want to know where you imported it.
Oh Jesus! It was in my suitcase. So that ended up really awesome. Yeah.
Dude, thank you so much, man. You're the fucking shit. Oh yeah, man.
He picked me up a Doctor Who comic in French as well, but I did not remember to bring it.
Well, still super cool. Did you see they had the new pictures of Doctor Who in his costume?
Yes.
Did you like it?
I do. I'm really looking forward to seeing Peter Capaldi do it. I think he's going to be a badass Doctor. I think he's going to be a darker, maybe not so nice Doctor.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he seems like he's going to be kind of in one of the.
He's not going to be goofy and quirky.
He might be a little goofy, a little quirky, but he's going to have attitude too. In one of the previews or clips that they've released, it's him talking to his companion, and he goes, "Be a pal. Tell me, am I a good man?" Oh, it's kind of like he's questioning, is he really a good man? So
interesting.
He's going to be more of a rebellious Time Lord.
That'd be an interesting take on the Doctor.
I think it would be pretty interesting. I'm looking forward to it. Don't get me wrong, I love Matt Smith and his quirky goofiness, but he was like, he was the oldest of the Doctors, but he acted like the youngest of them.
And he was like the youngest actor of them.
Yeah, because, they started with number 1, he started as an old man, but yet he was literally the youngest Doctor, and now we have the oldest Doctor who looks the youngest and acts all goofy. I think it was time for
How much of the old shit from the 60s and stuff have you seen?
They've worked quite a bit of it in, or at least references to it, even if they don't directly show it, but they have done quite a bit of it, like a lot of the old characters. Zygons.
Can you watch any of that on Netflix or anything?
Yes.
There's a lot of it.
Have you gone and watched a bunch?
It's almost like
we made it through the
first season, which was 4 episodes long.
You made it for the very first 4. How shitty did it look?
It was awesome.
It was
I loved every minute of it.
You can tell it's just like a backdrop with.
And the theme song was all like 8-bit tone. It was awesome, dude. Nice. Parts in black and white. It was perfect.
And it looked like a cardboard.
But it was a fun show.
Yeah.
Exactly. Who gives a shit?
Well, see, the thing Netflix has is they have a thing called Doctor Who Classics, and what it is there's one story arc from each of the different Doctors, all the from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's not the full first season, but it's just one short story arc.
Well, that's probably good. That's where you need to just kind of get all the references. They talk about it.
Yes,
yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, and that's a really nice thing that I always found about watching Doctor Who is that you can watch 1 or 2 episodes without having seen any episodes before, and you have a full story arc. You have the whole story that's happening, and you don't need any prior knowledge because the Doctor, he's just the Doctor, and you can catch along to that whole thing as you go, but the story will remain the same. I was always catching a story arc at a time, just splatters here.
And a lot of episodes, the main story is one and done.
Right,
but
exactly.
They do a really good job
of tying them all
together. Yeah. Whereas you don't need to see them. If you do, you're rewarded, I would say, 1,000-fold. Because the references that they do put in there, I mean, they are big references. And, like, sometimes they always play it, like, if they throw a character in, it's not like they're going to give you all that background, the people that have it, that it's good to have. But you don't need it. You just, they just play that role still.
Right.
And so you can just check them out. But, yeah, I mean...
You can almost kind of figure out a part of that background before, just by the character and how they act upon their introduction, regardless of if you've seen the past.
Because I've only seen the 6 seasons or 7 seasons or whatever of the restart. So I've only been through, 3 Doctors? This will be my 4th.
Yep.
And I haven't seen any... I haven't seen any of the other ones at all. But the clips that I have seen, it just looks so funny and hokey. I like... But that's the same kind of shit that I love with, Star Trek, TOS, man. I like that it's hokey and shitty. And I mean, that's half the fun, Well,
they have to be doing something right. They've been on the air doing it for 50 years. Granted, they did take a break from 96 to 2005, but hey, they came back. So.
And, I mean... They came back with a vengeance. I mean, it's one of the hugest shows on BBC.
I just love the huge U.S. fan base now. Because, I mean, it used to be...
I used to
like
ever expanding as well.
Well, I used to watch it on PBS. I remember Colin Baker's character with the scarf and, I think that's the...
And you watched it then?
Yeah. I remember when I was a kid, I used to watch it on PBS because he would play it.
Because I would see it, but I specifically remember not watching it. Like, I remember the Next Generation being on as well when I was like 5 to 7, 8. Oh. And I specifically was like, this isn't Star Wars, it sucks, Whereas now I'm like, dude, Star Wars sucks balls compared to Star Trek. I mean, I love Star Wars.
Hold your tongue.
I do like Star Wars. I'm not saying I don't.
There are 3 Star Wars movies, and they're better than anything you've ever seen.
But, I mean, I would say that Star Trek The Next Generation is one of the greatest TV series of all time.
It was
groundbreaking. I watched all of the Kirk and Spock movies in between after watching Trek, the original series, all of it, like almost marathon mode.
Fuck yeah.
And I just can't bring myself to start The Next Generation.
The best part is it's always going to be on Netflix.
Because
so when you're like 35, you can be like, I'm going to start TNG.
Yeah.
And
it's well worth it.
Hopefully they have a new TV show. Do you think they'll ever have another TV show that goes like more than 2 or 3 seasons?
I think they will.
I think they will too. I really do. I think within the next 5 to 10 years we'll see it.
And they're already in. I think CBS is in works with them, or it's a co-thing between Netflix or CBS.
Because CBS has the rights, or whatever.
They are working on developing one for TV.
Are they right now?
Trek series?
A new Star Trek series.
I hope it happens, man.
Yeah, I read an article on it.
But I believe it because Ken does know the info.
Well, they were actually talking. They were actually talking about possibly doing 2 of them.
How do you always know everything about this geek culture?
I read a lot.
Especially about geek culture, dude. You just know it all.
There were actually several rumors going around. There was one where it was supposed to actually tie into...
I love this reaction, dude. I mean, I know that reaction. I feel like that's a reaction that Jenna gives me a lot of times when I start to say something as geeky as that.
So, what you don't know.
But anyway, I want to hear about it, so you're finishing.
Well, okay, one of them was going to actually be Worf. Captain Worf.
Yeah, that's right, but that didn't go through.
That didn't go through.
I heard.
And then CBS, I think, is the company that actually owns it. CBS and Paramount or whatever.
Well, I watched the TOS through CBS at work.
So they're talking about developing 2 different storylines, 2 different ones, and they're not sure which one they're going to go with. If either one of these, because now they're talking about possibly just doing another thing. But what it's kind of going to be like CSI in space was one of them, and the other one was supposed to be a medical ship. So it'd be kind of like. Grey's Anatomy.
Are you guys still filming Comic Book Book?
Yes.
Yeah. Really? John, then talk.
So,
you want to take my chair? Because you're saying more than I am.
Oh, why aren't you saying anything? No. Negative.
Okay.
So yes, that's the last that I've heard. So, but they are talking about doing it, and I'm pretty sure they're going to because
Fine.
The sci-fi TV shows right now are just booming with like. Falling Skies,
and all the comic book TV shows that are coming out.
Yeah, I mean, it's just booming. I think pretty much any sort of sci-fi, horror, comic book related property is going to be gobbled up and
I mean, it's just nerd culture making a real comeback as a whole, and that's finally people think we're cool again.
Yes.
Like we're
even like it is totally. How many times do you hear people say like, "Oh, I'm totally totally a plant geek. I'm totally a library geek. I'm totally a star geek. It's like everybody just wants to be that geek where it's like, dogs, we've been repping.
Right. I was gonna say we haven't stopped doing anything.
Exactly. So we're 6 or 7 years old
on the big screen,
watching Saturday morning cartoons. Like it's 10 times more important than church that you have to go to the next morning, and that carries with us. Whereas now everybody's like, yeah, dude, I'm totally geek. I get it, and it's fine, and I like that I am going to totally embrace that. But now at this point, I'm like, well, I'm not a geek anymore. I'm fucking beyond that. Me and John are on another level.
I was a geek.
Don't lose your geekness.
I was 13 when I was geeky.
Are you supreme geeks now?
Yeah, we're kind of elite geeks, maybe.
No.
I don't know. You guys will
Be
catch
humble.
up soon.
Your 10th level power.
Oh, don't do that to yourselves. You will burn up and blow up.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, seriously, the geek thing, you can be geeks all day long. And you can be proud of it, and
Where's this ghost voice coming from? Where? I think Casper's around. We were talking about him earlier. He showed up. Richie Rich actually died and came back.
I'm just saying.
As a girl.
Hey, you geeks. You,
no,
and
he's
you.
Just 13. He sounds like a girl. That's all.
You can be all that you want, and be those true geeks.
Be all the geek you can be.
That's right.
Yes.
There you go.
You know what?
But yeah, it is funny how it is, like, Revenge of the Nerds started it, like, where, like, oh, being a nerd's kind of cool, it's funny, it's cool, and now it's to the point that being a geek is like way better than being a jock or something,
it's all cool.
That's not even where geeks want to be. Right?
So,
I think you know that.
Okay.
We'll probably close it down. I'm going to talk about this crazy ska song that's been playing at least one or two of these episodes at the beginning. We found a hilarious ska song by Kirby Crackle.
So boss.
About being invited to the Great Lakes
Midwest!
Repping the Midwest, bringing all of my loves together. The Midwest, comics, ska music, just all in one.
Doesn't he call Batman a douche?
No, Batman was a douche to him. So we're going to quick run through just all of the groups he tried to join.
Okay.
Or denied joining. Tried to join the X-Men, but they were racist because he's human. Tried to join the Justice League, but Batman was a douche. And Plastic Man changing the middle finger, that was a mile high. Great Lakes Avengers didn't want to do it because they were walking disaster.
Exactly.
Right.
So let's get this right. He didn't go to the Great Lakes Avengers. The Great Lakes Avengers find out that he's
Kirby Crackle.
Kirby Crackle's trying out for all these other teams. Great Lakes Avengers trying to snatch him up.
He wants, and so he's trying to join all these other teams because he doesn't want to have anything to do with it. Green Lantern Corps, but
Guardians.
The uniforms would chafe his thighs because they're too tight. Fantastic Four, couldn't reach the door.
Just because it rhymes with four.
Sure. But then, we go back to the Great Lakes Avengers, kept calling him. Doom Patrol? No way. Cyberforce? No way. Alpha Flight? No way.
Represent comic book book.
Are you not Canadian Pack? Canadian Power Pack, sorry. Too old. JSA? Too young. Birds of Prey? You're a dude.
Love that one.
So he finally joins the Great Lakes Avengers because he came out.
But yes, you'll hear that at the beginning and underlaid as Skylar talks about that because this is
just
so
silly, and that's just the nature of ska, just fun, silly, bizarre.
Exactly. And we'll try to definitely get together though again as soon as possible.
Summer out.
Exactly, and this last minute shit, it fucking worked 2 weeks in a row. So we'll just keep on going with it. And I want to thank you guys for sticking in there. I want you to tell all your friends and hit us up. Leave comments. Sergeant America, Philip, Mark, you guys are fucking stars for life in our eyes, and we're still watching your shit. Thanks for doing what you do. Thanks for all our viewers.
I have a mad appreciation for all those viewers.
That ghost voice, it's back.
It's here. It's right on back. Thank you for watching these boys do what they do.
I don't know where that's coming from, guys. But anyway, any other last comments? Because I know John better shut us down correctly.
Yep.
Alright, well, you guys have an awesome comic book summer. And keep it comics for sure.